who argue no. Professor Marsden feels strongly that it still is. I think Professor Steele in Australia does. And to some extent, it hardly matters because it's going to be coming in a year and passing through this part of the solar system anyway, and then it's going to be gone for a long time. But in terms of orbital calculations, they're still debating it all. So that's the most I know up to date.
Well, what bothers me is, I think the earlier facts are hit it on the head. They come with what they say is a firm figure, and then that changes significantly, and they say this is the new firm figure.
Well, because Jupiter, the Jupiter effect in this solar system, it can pull things in or have some other kind of effect, and they have to get these things past Jupiter before they really can determine it finally. So that's what's been happening.
Well, I wish they'd said that before it passed Jupiter's effect. You know, it was as though they were saying, we know for sure that it's going to be 1 to 1.5 AU. Right. We guarantee that. And obviously that was not quite correct. I mean, so there you are.
Right.
First time caller line, you're on the air with Linda Howe. Hello.
Hi. I was actually, I don't know if this is having to do with the topic in question right now, but I was wanting to ask Linda if she has had any information about non-humanoid, but nonetheless physical, non-earthly organisms. Like, you know, in other words, like an alien animal or something like that.
Interesting question.
Yeah, that is a very good question, and the only thing that really comes to mind are throughout the centuries there have been these constant reports of things like the strange all-black dogs or all-black cats that people have seen either seemingly disappear in thin air or have been associated where there have been a lot of strange animal deaths. These mysterious animals, are they something from another dimension? Are they associated with the UFO phenomenon? There seems to be some eyewitness links on the Bigfoot, for example, that the Bigfoot creature has been seen actually right next to silver discs with blonde-haired humanoids. There are several accounts like that, seemingly linking the Bigfoot to this UFO phenomenon in a very physical way. And the Bigfoot has also been very commonly described in the 1970s, especially in pastures and in fields where mutilated animals were found. It doesn't mean that somebody saw a Bigfoot mutilate animals. It means there's been an association, and in some of the abduction literature, people caught up in the abduction syndrome have said that they have the impression that the Bigfoot primate type of creature that disappears in flashes of light is some kind of a biological android, like a robot, but certainly all biological, that is doing work on this planet for something else of an advanced intelligence.
Well, I hope you will follow up on the Bigfoot samples. And the reason I say that, Linda, is because a lot of times we get these very exciting reports about a sample or a photograph that is undeniable or something or another, and then you never hear anything else about it. It drives me crazy.
Right. It's hard to keep up with everything.
I know. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Linda Howe. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, where are you?
I'm in Quincy, California.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Yes, I'd like to tell her about this interesting thing that about 3 years ago, I guess it was, up in Montana, the northwestern side of Montana, up around Glacier Park. My nieces were driving home, and they saw out in the field around Kalispell area, which is just outside of Glacier Park, a bright light, and the bright light moved in a westerly direction, and they heard this rumbling sound with it. It was kind of like, you know, when you go down the road with the windows open.
Right.
And this bright light was sitting there, you know, just moving in the westerly direction, and it just continued to move, and people around that block saw this or heard the noise. They didn't see the light, but they heard the noise in their house, and my nieces went running in the house, you know, real fast. They were just terrified, and it took them about, 3 or 4 hours to calm down. And my sister said that she said that the dogs were barking, and you know, this weird sound was, just really all over the house. And then all of a sudden, the bright light left them alone, and it just went on.
All right, thank you very much. There's another one. I have no idea what to do with stories like that.
Animal reactions are so fascinating because in a lot of these cases around lights, sometimes dogs will go crazy. There was a case in Colorado where the people on the inside of the house east of Colorado Springs were not aware of anything until two large Labrador dogs literally attacked the wall next to the door, left great big claw marks, were barking. The people were totally disoriented about what could possibly be happening. When they opened up the door, outside was this gigantic round light above their house. Now, when people have aggressive animals like that, the larger majority seem to have animals that go the other way, that put their tails between their legs and cower under furniture, cower under bed, just simply don't respond the way you would think.
I had a golden retriever. It used to go to the bathtub. It was actually embarrassing. All right, hold on, and I'll be right back to you. Whenever there'd be a bang or a noise, this golden retriever of mine, which I very much loved, named Cobber, would take off like a bandit and be centered in the bathtub, and you couldn't get that dog to move for a long time. We'll be right back.
We all know the secret to making money is timing. Now is the right time to call what could be the most profitable telephone number you call this year. Vice President Albert Gore said, quote, "Make no mistake about it. The telecommunications industry is by all odds the most important, lucrative marketplace of the 21st century," end quote. Act now. Discover how a minimum $8,200 participation in the explosive telecommunications industry could return to you $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 or more, plus a yearly income for the rest of your life. And yes, it can be part of your IRA or retirement plan. For complete details and a free video cassette, call toll-free 1-800-444-1049. Operators are ready 24 hours a day. Ensure your financial future. Take action now. Call 1-800-444-1049. That's Microtech at 1-800-444-1049. You've heard our GMX ads for about a year and a half now, so what are you waiting for? GMX is the way to treat your hard water problems, and without salt. Not only can you eliminate dealing with salt, you can also forget maintenance, extra electricity bills, or other hidden ongoing costs. Aren't you tired of hard water scaling? That ugly white stuff around your faucets, causing toilet bowl ring and clogging the shower head, not to mention the water heater? GMX will take care of all that once and for all. How can you go wrong? In most homes, the GMX water conditioner pays for itself in 2 years or less, especially after your water heater throws off its hard water scaling and becomes more efficient. It will happen, folks. And then you continue to save money for years and years. The GMX units never wear out for about a $600 investment with an unconditional 90-day money-back guarantee. You can try out the GMX water conditioner and see for yourself. Give them a call at 1-800-4060-GMX. That's 1-800-4060-GMX.
Okay, with that, back now to Linda Howe. Linda, are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Good. All right, we've got time for a couple more. East of the Rockies, you're on the air with Linda Howe. Where are you calling from, please? No, I guess we missed him. West of the Rockies, you're on the air.
Hello?
This is Dan from San Diego. Am I on?
Hello?
This is Dan from San Diego. Am I on?
Yes, you're on. Turn your radio off, Dan.
Okay. All right. Hey, I've been trying to get through to you for months.
All right, well, you've made it.
All right. Great, Peter. Hey, so you know Wiseback?
Yes.
He's an associate of yours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was talking to him this morning. I wanted to ask you a question because you didn't really give me an answer. I wanted to know if, do you think Howard Stern's Miss America book should be translated into Spanish, or would it lose its cultural impact? I'm sort of a linguistic.
Oh, no, I think Chinese, sir. Thank you. First-time caller line, you're on the air with Linda Howe. Hello.
Yes, this is Tom.
Hi, Tom. Where are you?
I'm in Geneva, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
I had an experience where I was in church, and I saw this, like, a gray alien creature. I came face to face with him, and he, I wrote Linda about this, and she never got back with me for some reason. Maybe she was too busy, but
It's hard to keep up with all correspondence, and I apologize, but I do my best.
Well, I figured you was probably busy, overwhelmed or something, but he sort of like gave me the this power to see into the future. I know it sounds crazy, but he gave me this power to see like an hour or two into the future, and I witnessed this lady get up in the first row of the church, and she put on a pink raincoat and went outside, and it started to rain. And right after church, the exact same thing that I saw happened. And this was like a gray creature, and he had like yellow cat eyes. And
okay, now what you're saying is that you had the impression of this being in your mind's eye, or you thought you were...
I really couldn't tell.
Well,
I mean, to me, the creature looked absolutely real.
Yeah, well, there have been stories of people being in church who say that they have seen either the kind of being you're describing, or they have seen tall beings with long hair, or they have seen beings with flowing robes. What it is about the process of going to church?
I think I know.
Okay, go, Art.
I think that when people go to church, they're concentrating on spiritual matters. They're actually closing the rest of the world out for a period of time and allowing themselves to feel spiritual.
Right.
And so I think it follows that with that kind of...
kind of the paradigm they're in.
Well, yeah, I guess paradigm's a fair word. A little overused, but fair. They're just in that mode, and so they're open to these kinds of things. That's just my best guess.
Well, none of us really know, but there have been repeated patterns of stories like this gentleman's as far as, they seem incredible to people, even those that experience it, but they are reported many times, so it isn't just a single event.
Exactly. West of the Rockies, you're on the air with Linda Howe. Hello.
Hi, Linda and Art.
Yes, sir.
Linda, I heard you talking about a biological machine earlier tonight.
Android.
Oh, a droid, yeah. And you know what? When I was a very small kid, I've seen one of those things. I saw it 2 different times.
Which type?
It looked like a machine, but the eyes, they were real. The eyes were real.
Well, my allusion was to the fact that abductees and so-called insiders in the government talk about the fact that the grays that interact with humans, for the most part, are not the primary intelligence, but that are in fact programmed biological androids made specifically to do work here, and the work can vary all over the place. And that raises an even bigger question. What is the intelligence behind the gray phenomena on the Earth?
And that might even be borne out by the Santilli autopsies, because it was mush inside that creature, save the crystal object removed. It didn't look like it should look. Of course, what should it look like, I have no idea, but I mean, it almost seemed like biological soup.
Well, if it is, let's just say for a second that crystal was some kind of a power source for a biological android, and that the Santilli creatures are in fact cloned biological androids made to do a specific kind of work. We don't know how far this goes in terms of all kinds of cloned beings to do work for something else that's very advanced. That's a distinct possibility.
Possibly one more. West of the Rockies for Linda Howe, you're on the air.
Okay.
Where are you calling from, sir?
Missoula, Montana.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. I have to relate a story that happened to me in 1976.
It's got to be quick.
Okay. It was in Plains, Kansas, and it was 2:30 in the morning, or 3 o'clock. A friend and myself were fishing, and they were doing experimental B-52 flying over, bombers, and they had boxes out in the cornfields and stuff, and that had happened for days. And one night we were out in the field fishing, and this object flew over with bright light, and it made just a straight line, and there was no noise.
All right. Well, thank you. There's yet one more. You could take reports like that from now until doomsday. Yep. And by the way, I think we will. And one of these days, Linda, we've got to nail it down.
Well, at least I'm trying to concentrate on physical hard evidence. And tonight we didn't even go into all the pathology and medical and hard physical facts that we're finding in crop circles and animal mutilations and soil and other things. And on Dreamland over the next few months, that's what I will continue to try to concentrate on, the harder fact aspect.
All right. Well, I appreciate your contribution, and especially done at the last minute like that. Linda, bless your heart. Thank you.
Well, it's been fun, Art, and I look forward to more updates next Sunday.
Good night, Linda.
Good night.
See you next Sunday. That's Linda Howe, our faithful investigator for Dreamland. I'm Art Bell from the high desert near Dreamland. Good night.
This has been Dreamland, a program dedicated to an examination of areas in the human experience not easily nor neatly put in a box. Things seen at the edge of vision, awakening a part of the mind as yet not mapped. Yet things every bit as real as the air we breathe but don't see. Please join us again next week at this time for Dreamland.